So you're interested in investing in real estate, and you're probably really excited to start running numbers and going to look at properties. But trust me when I say the most important first step for anyone looking to get into real estate is having a really clear picture of your monthly income and expenses. And this means tracking. I know that does not sound very exciting, but trust me when I tell you that the clarity that you get from tracking your income and expenses monthly is really empowering. It will help you understand how much money you have to put towards down payments or how much you really need to cover in personal expenses to be able to leave your 9-to-5 job. So I really suggest everyone start here as step number one in their investing journey. There's a whole bunch of apps out there that you can use, but I've been using an Excel spreadsheet for the past 8 to 10 years now. It's something that I researched online, took a few examples, learned about some Excel functions, and kind of built over time. And I found it really clear and simple and highly customizable. So I share this spreadsheet with people often, and I've recently had folks tell me that they would have paid me for this spreadsheet. I don't want to charge you, but I do want to share it with you because it's something that I think you can build at home in 20 to 30 minutes. So today we're going to look at that spreadsheet, and then we're also going to build one together so you can see exactly how you put this thing together and do it from home and start getting that clarity that you need to begin your investing journey from a place of strength. So let's get started. Okay, so here is the spreadsheet. It looks like a lot at first blush, but trust me when I say after you get it all set up and you've run through 1 or 2 months of this, it's going to feel super simple and easy. So this first tab we have here is a summary tab, and this is where we're going to put our monthly budget for how much we think we'll make, how much we want to set aside in investments, maybe towards a fund for down payments, and then how much we think we should be spending in each category that you decide to set. You're also going to have the amount from each month, the total from each month for each of these categories. It'll total on the far right column. And on the left, this year-to-date average will show you as you go throughout the year, it'll average the months that where you've spent money so far and help you see how that compares to the budget you set for yourself. And you want to be looking at the average because things like vehicles, you might have big expenses for 1 month because you had to have a repair done, but other months all you have is gas. So you're going to see how that averages out over time and how that average compares to your monthly budget. So on these tabs for each month, this is where you're going to pull the actual statements, your bank statements and credit card statements, and you're going to copy and paste every single transaction from the month into each month's tab. So you're going to want to have a transaction date, a description of the transaction, the category that you set from that list of categories, the amount spent, and then memo. This might be where you give some sort of context about what that Amazon purchase or that Target purchase was all about. And then at the very end, you see we have a drop-down menu. So this is where you set those category names. It's going to be important for how we set up some certain functions or formulas in other parts of the spreadsheet so that it's really easy to categorize these things each month in a consistent way. So that's the spreadsheet in a nutshell. I want to show you how to build this. So we're going to open a blank worksheet, and we're going to start with name your first tab drop-down menu. And this is where you're just going to create exactly what categories you want. So you might have your income, maybe a spouse's income or a income from a second job. I always put other income for things like interest made on bank accounts or savings accounts. And then you're going to write down any investments. So if you have maybe a Roth IRA, a 401k, perhaps you're putting money aside for a down payment, whatever things you want to list for investments. And then we go into all the expenses. And this is where you really focus on setting up buckets that reflect your life and how you want to be living. So if you are definitely going to be dining out a lot, make sure you have separate categories for groceries versus dining out. If you love to travel, make sure you have a travel category. If you have pets or children, make sure you have categories for those things because we all know those can be expensive little loves. But set that list of things that reflects how you want to be tracking your money for the best clarity for your way of living. So I'll just put a few things in here for us to work from. So we'll say mortgage, utilities, gas, groceries, travel, charity, charitable contributions, pets, dining out. You get the idea. So you're going to create whatever your list of categories is, and this is going to run throughout the entire spreadsheet so that you have consistency in how you're tracking your expenses from month to month. So have fun with this part. Maybe pause the video here if you want to sit down and really think about what categories make the most sense for you, and then come back to see what the other tabs will be. Once you have your drop-down menu with all your categories figured out, then you can start creating the tabs by month. So for the name of the tab, put the abbreviation for that month. At the top, I'll put January 2025. In the top left, you might put the month and year. And then this is where you're going to be dumping all of that information that you pull from your bank account statements and your credit card statements every single month. So you want to have the transaction date. And a lot of your bank statements or credit card statements might have both a transaction date and a post date. You can pick one or the other to use, just make sure you're consistent. I choose a transaction date because that's the date I actually swiped my card and spent the money. Even if it actually posts to my account a couple days later, I base it on transaction date. Transaction date, description, so that'll just be the description that's in your statement. You'll copy and paste. Category is where we're going to use the categories we just set up on the drop-down menu. Amount is the dollar amount, and then memo, again, if you want to clarify what that charge was about. And I'm not going to spend any time formatting here, but of course you can format this to look nice and pretty once you're done setting it all up. So the only function we really need to worry about in here is you're going to pull down, I don't know, a couple hundred lines maybe. Depends on how much you spend each month, but I'd go further than you think you need to, just for months where maybe you have more charges than usual for some reason. Maybe during the holidays, there's a lot of extra charges. So I went down to row 250. And this is where you're going to pull that drop-down menu in, so you have an automatic way to look up which category you should use for each transaction. So in Excel, you're going to want to go to Data, the Data tab up here. Come over to this little thing that looks like a checklist. It'll say Data Validation, and from the drop-down menu, choose Data Validation. Now, it says Allow in the Settings, Validation Criteria, drop down to List. When you click in Source, you're going to click back to your drop-down menu and select this entire list of categories that you put together, and then hit OK. And now you can see there's this little arrow. When I come here, I can drop down and see all of my different types of income, investments, and expenses to choose from. Once you've done that, you can just create copies of this one. Make sure you click Create Copy. So right-click the tab, hit Move or Copy, click the little box that says Create Copy, and then rename it February. And make sure you change the date in the top right corner, or the month, February 2025. And keep doing that until you have all 12 months of the year, as you can see over here. And you can easily reorder them just by drag and drop, so that January's first and December's last, or you could do it the reverse way if you want. It doesn't matter too much. So once we have these tabs set up, and I won't do all 12 right now, then you're going to set up that front summary sheet. So rename this Summary. And this is the one that takes a little more time to set up, but it'll be well worth it when you see how clear and organized your expenses are each month. So as you can see, we're going to break out income, investments, and expenses, and we're going to total each of these subcategories as well. Income and expenses. I'm going to go ahead, for the sake of time, and copy this and paste here. So I have that formatting, but then I'm going to come in here and use my own drop-down menu, or my recently created drop-down menu. So these were my my expenses. I'll just take these out. Okay. So here's how we're starting out. And as we saw previously on the other example, we're going to want to set a monthly budget amount, a column for the year-to-date average. All right. Do a little quick formatting on this. There we go. So you can format this however you like over time. So I like to kind of clarify. Okay, so I put a little bit of formatting in just so it's not too difficult for us to look at. But here's where we'll go ahead and put in what we think we're going to make. So maybe 5,000 per month here, and another 2,000 per month here, 1,000. Let's go ahead and make sure all of this is going to be showing as dollars. So in your monthly budget column, make sure you're putting in what you expect to make and spend each month in each of these categories. So let's say you put 500 and 500 and 500 for easy math. Some of those, 1,500, 500. So you'll create your budget, sum each subsection, then you come down to this net and you take your total income minus your total investments minus total expenses. As you can see, there's a big excess here. I obviously don't have a ton of categories and made these numbers up on the fly, but you understand the picture here. In this year-to-date average area, we're going to go ahead and wait until we have some data in some of these areas first. So this is the big part. It's going to take you a little bit of time. This is the most time-consuming part of setting up this spreadsheet. But once you set it up, it works beautifully and you don't have to mess with it. So what we're going to do in each cell across all of these months for every category you have is a sum if function. So basically what this is doing is saying, okay, if in my January tab, this column that says category says income 1, then sum up the amount that's next to that column. So it's saying that if in January I have Jan 1, description is paycheck, my category is income 1, and the amount is 2,500, it's going to come in this spreadsheet, in this tab of the spreadsheet, read that this says income 1, so that it will sum this amount. And it'll find all the instances in this particular month where you had money coming in through the source income 1, and it'll summarize that amount. Same thing for expenses. If you've got on January 2, your mortgage payment comes out, then you can hit that category mortgage, and that's 1,500, I think we said. So it'll find the mortgage payment for that month, and it'll pull that into the January summary cell for this month for the mortgage. So let's go ahead and do this a couple times. This sum if, what you're going to do, it says range criteria sum range. So we put in the range that will read the category, and we're going to tell it which category it's looking for, which in this case is income 1, then comma, and then you tell it what amount to pull if that was true. So if the category is income 1, then pull this amount all the way down to 250, then close those parentheses. So again, sum if the range where you want it to look for the category name in parentheses, and then the range of the amount so that it can sum up those amounts. And then you can see it pulled our 2,500. So let's come down here and do it for mortgage as well, since we put a fake mortgage charge in there, equals sum if. We're going to go to January and again say sum if this category says mortgage, then take the amount next to it. We just did this correctly, then we're going to see $1,500 on the summary. And there it is, $1,500 on the summary tab. As you can see, this part takes a little more time. It is a little more manual because you need to do this for each category and across each month. But once you've done all the January charges, you can drag this across, and then you can come in here and just manually change to Feb. Everything else should be the same. You're still referencing income 1. You still want to be going down to whatever cell or whatever row you decided will definitely cover all your income and expense transactions for the month. So you can just change February. And then come into the next one and change March. Similarly, you can drag this down. You can just drag down. And then instead of changing the month, you can change the category name. So this one should be utilities. And this one should be gas. And so on and so forth. So this will be the most time-consuming part, but once it is all set up, it's amazing how this works for you over time. So you can start putting in a whole bunch of different amounts, categories and amounts. We're just going to look at some examples. Maybe we did 200 in gas that month. And then let's look at where groceries are. There it is. 400. So I just put these amounts in willy-nilly so you can see how they start populating in this spreadsheet, because you've taken the time, maybe 20, 30 minutes to set up all of these different sum if functions throughout that summary page. And now each month, all you have to do is copy and paste your transactions from your bank account and your credit card statements, however many of them you have. Copy and paste them all in here. You want to make sure that they match up on the columns correctly, that you then go through and correctly assign categories, because the bank statement might have a suggested category in there. So you're going to want to go through and use your own drop-down menu on that category. The amount should come straight from that statement, and you can add a little memo if you want. And over time, you'll get more and more clarity as you see each month how different income and expenses shake out for you. And once you've got a couple months in here too, you can start to do your year-to-date average. So in this column, that's kind of the last thing you'll set up. In column C on the summary tab, type in equals average, parentheses, and then drag across as many months as you have that year, close parentheses, and it'll show you the average. And what you want to do is make sure that you update this amount each month. So you can just click right here and drag it out once you've done your March expenses to see how it now averages out with one more month included. Because otherwise, you can see how that changes when there's zeros in here. So you'll start getting a skewed average because you have all the way out to December when it's only March. So you'll want to drag through the months to get the correct average based on what month of the year you're in. Okay, so that is the income and expense spreadsheet that I use. I've been using it for like 8 years, I think. I've shared it with a lot of friends. They were super excited about it. It seems like a lot up front, but trust me, you can do this. Set aside the time to set it up. Maybe set a whole hour just to give yourself plenty of time. Make sure you use the comment section below to ask me questions. And we'll also share a helpful resource down there as well. If you go check out our website, we can send you some resources to help you with this process as well. Go ahead, dive in, get more clarity, and have fun.